Welcome back to another video. This week we are back at home working on Rango, our Land Rover Defender 110. Now last week when we got back from Italy, we realised that we actually have kind of a tightish deadline to get this conversion done, which we'll explain in a later video. But from that we spent a bit of time sitting down, looking at everything we needed for the camper conversion itself, and we did a load of ordering. So we've now ordered a load of stuff for the conversion, some bits and parts and load of different things, and we're currently waiting for it to be delivered. So this week we have a load of different projects to tackle in preparation for the camper build. So let's just get stuck in.
We added some custom X-PLORE graphics to the Land Rover to really make it our own. We designed and created these ourselves using our Cry-Cut Joy, carefully cutting and applying each piece to give the vehicle a personal touch that reflects our adventures. We also created a little icon featuring the Land Rover's name, Rango. It's a small detail, but it makes such a difference in giving the vehicle even more personality. Along with the graphics, we also added some metal letters, which I absolutely love. They give the Land Rover an even more rugged and unique look.
So back out on the Land Rover, and I'm going to be doing a nice simple job today. So many moons ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we were at B&Q and we picked up this anti-slip tape reduced for a bargain price of 50p. So we had no idea what we were going to do with it, and it stuck around with us and it stuck with us, and as you can see, it's like this non-slip grip stuff. So we're going to install some to the ladder on the rear of the Land Rover, and also the side like rock deflector steps. So let's just get to it and get some installed. Okay, so I've cut some strips to size, so they fit in here, and it's sticky back, so you just peel it off, and it's super sticky on the back, and then I'm just going to stick it down. And it's very abrasive, so be careful when you're sticking it. And that is perfect. Did it before, as you can see, it's quite worn where it's been stepped on, and it's just a smooth flat surface. And then here, it looks a lot better in person than it does on camera, but I've just stick this tape and it is stuck down really good. Sorry, you could step on it, and it should wear a lot better, but it looks really good in person actually. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the step. So just going to take a bit and measure it. Ooh. So I just roughly measure it and then tidy the edges, peel it off. And then stick it on the top, so because that's where your feet will go, and then just stick it down. And this stuff is super sticky, so we've had this stuff around for 4 or 5 years and it's still pretty good. What? No.
Going off.
No, we've had it around for 4 or 5 years and it's not gone off or anything. The adhesion is still super strong. Like, that is sticky. You're giggling at? What? Just tried to peel it off. I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, we're just going to go along and do the whole thing, and I'll give you a look at what it looks like after. So when we bought this Land Rover Defender, it come with this Safari Snorkel already installed. However, the top bit was facing front ways, which is kind of the normal way that you see a snorkel installed. However, recently we've come to learn that when you take your landy off-road or your overlanding rig, that you often spin the top bit to face backwards. So for two main reasons. One, because when it sticks forward, it's quite easy for branches and things to catch onto it, tear the whole thing off. And two, stuff can go in it directly as you're driving down the road. Stuff can get in it, like snow, dirt, dust, a lot more easy. So that's why people tend to spin them around when they take them off-road. However, some people also spin them around kind of permanently all the time, so that they don't have the hassle of spinning it around when they do take it off-road. So what we have done is we've spun the top bit around, and this is how it's going to stay. So it looks a little bit strange at first because you tend to see them the other way around, and I know it's a little bit controversial and it's a bit of a, what do you call it, a personal kind of how you want to do it. But this is how we've done it. We've spun it around for the benefits, and we think this way will suit us a lot better. So come and take a little look at it. I think actually once you've kind of looked at it for a little bit, it actually looks pretty smart. Come and have a little look. So as you can see, it just sits here. It's a lot sleeker, so branches can't get caught under it as easy, and it just sits facing backwards. We can always turn it around forwards if we find that we need to or have any issues like this, but I think this is going to work for us. So you joined me in our little workshop today. So we got these lights secondhand, and I'm just going to test that they work before I look to do a little bit of a clean up and a touch up on these, ready to install on our landy. So we've done one we have tried and tested, and this all works perfectly. So just got to give a little test to this one now, and to be fair, they look pretty neat, pretty good condition, but I'm just gonna spray them up and make them a little bit more robust, ready for our Land Rover and give them a second life. We've also got these lights, which were on the Land Rover when we bought it. However, they're looking a little bit worse for wear, and the bracket was also broken. So we took these apart and we're going to give them a clean up. These are tried and tested. So we're going to clean them up and get all the lights we've got looking spick and span, ready for a new lease of life. So let's get to painting. So as I say, I've took all the bits and bobs off. I'm going to start with the brackets and the bits. So I've got these little pieces and these bits as well. You can see are a bit corroded and a bit looking worse for wear. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a bit of sandpaper and give them a good sand over, and then I'm going to be using some spray paint for these. So I've got some primer, some satin black and a finish coat as well. So I'm going to get these sanded down and then get them sprayed first. So whilst the spraying's happening on the little bit of the little brackets and stuff, I'm going to start paying a little bit of attention to these. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm just going to make sure all the peel is sort of sanded and nothing's going to peel off. Get them taped up, and I'm going to paint them. And I'm not quite decided if I'm going to spray them or if I'm going to use some of this Hammerite stuff, because that's pretty good and a little bit more robust. So I'm not too sure yet. I'm not too sure what I'm set on. But yeah, I'm going to get these cleaned up, sanded back, and go from there. paid particular attention to where there's a little bit more corrosion, just to make sure that when I paint it, it's not going to peel all off again, because that would be a complete waste of time. So I thought I'd just show you, this is what the little brackets and bits looked like before. And then, like I said, I'm going to be using this stuff on them, so I will show you what they look like after shortly. So it's a few hours later and I have finally finished putting painting the lights and cleaning them up, and I think they look pretty good. They're not perfect because they are secondhand lights and a little bit corroded, but they look so much better. I've still got to put all the brackets back on, but look how good these look. They look so good. So I'll show you the lights now, and then we can do a little show and tell of what they looked like before. So, like I say, still got to get the lights back together, but this is them now. Like I say, they're not perfect, but they look so much better. And I ended up using a mixture of the Hammerite and the spray paint to create the look, and they just look a bit more robust and ready to go onto the Landy for their second life. So let's show you up close. Installing the lights that I have recently refurbished to the back of the Landy. Brandon's up there in his socks. Anyway, we were very, very lucky with how these fitted, so I'll show you what I'm on about. Let me just turn the camera around. So on the back of our roof rack, we have these two holes here and here, and fortunately, as you can see over here, Brandon's just installing the new light. They line up perfectly with these second-hand lights that we've got. The brackets line up perfectly, so we're just getting them on now, and they looking pretty good. Looks like you've got enormous feet from this. What do you want?
A big tub of washers. There's a load of spring washers in here, otherwise they ain't getting used.
So yeah, we're just popping these two onto the back, and they fit perfectly, so that's pretty good. And then the other two, which I refurbished, which look pretty good, they're going onto the side of the Landy as well. So we'll show you when we get to installing them. So, are you alright?
I stood on the roof.
So I thought I'd just show you these up close. I think they look pretty good considering, you know, they're just some second-hand ones, done them up a little bit, and they look really good on the back here. So we're just doing the whatever bolts on that. I think it's a 10. Brandon thinks it's an 8. What is it?
Might be a 10. It's a 10.
It's a what?
It's a 10.
What did you say it was?
8.
Who wins?
Chloe wins.
Chloe wins. Okay, so we have now popped the other lights which I did and upcycled. These ones come on the Landy. Just to the side there, we've got to tighten them up and hammerite the nuts and bolts, but they look pretty good on there. So these are gonna go off a different switch and give us some light for the sides, but they fit really perfectly, nice and out the way up on the back there, so pretty chuffed with those. So that is it. All the lights are, they're not wired up yet, but they are installed, and I think they look really good. We decided to remove the tow bar off the back of the Landy. Now this actually stemmed from a conversation we had with I believe a subscriber and someone who we kind of met on Instagram, and it got us thinking, why do we need the tow bar on the Land Rover? We're not going to tow anything, it's just extra weight. So we decided to remove it. We've never removed the tow bar off our camper van, and I don't know why, it's just kind of stood there. We don't even know if it works. We've had our camper for like 4 years now, I think, and it's just been sat there kind of ugly. So we decided to remove the tow bar off the back of the Landy, and I've actually got it here. Let me spin the camera around and show you. So it's really chunky, it's really heavy, we have no use for it, so we've took it off, and it was really easy to get off, to be fair. It was just a few bolts and then just kind of dropping it down. So this has, you know, allowed for, well, it's took off a bit of weight, which is brilliant, and it actually makes the Landy from the back end look so much better. So let's head out the front and I'll show you the back end now. It just looks a lot sleeker, and where we took it off the Landy, I've just put a bit of Hammerite over it and just touched it up a little bit, and it looks spot on. So let's go check it out. So although the truck is very dirty at the minute, this is where we took it off. It's just a little bit dirty, but as you can see, it's took off all that weight from the back end, which is pretty brilliant. Thanks so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to tune in next week, as we are going to be installing, or attempting to install anyway, an essential part of an overlanding rig. So stay tuned for that one, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Subscribing is free to do, and it does really help our channel grow. So without further ado, we'll see you next week.